Hello everyone, today we are breaking down Season 3, Episode 4, Green of Monster, the Ed Gein Story. But before that, remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. The first thing we see is Ed looking over Evelyn's body. He killed her at the end of last episode. He is putting some kind of paste over her, then wrapping her in some kind of cloth. So what Ed is trying to do is preserve the body. As we know, Ed likes the skins, and a human body decomposes, so he's trying to slow that process. So then he has time to do what he wants with the body. We're now with Adeline. In the last episode, we saw her go check in on Augusta, Ed's mother, and it was Ed sitting there with one of his lady masks on. This didn't actually happen in the narrative of the show. What is currently happening does. She discovers that Augusta is a decomposing corpse and is horrified and screams. Ed hears the screams from the barn and runs to check on her. Adeline runs back home. Ed follows her. She gets back home to discover her mother is gone for a church dinner. So she enters the home, locks the door, and runs to her room. Ed has another way of getting in though, and goes through the cellar to enter the house. He goes upstairs to discover that she has laid out a new set of bra and panties, and Ed is blown away. We know Ed likes to cross-dress and he gets some kind of sexual thrill from it, and we know he has stolen some of Adeline's bras before, which we saw in episode 2. Adeline knows this as well and calls him out on it. I think Adeline here was scared of what he might do to her, and she thought this was a way to protect herself, distracting him with something he wants. The two talk, and Adeline doesn't really seem that freaked out about what's happening, and Ed tells her the truth. About the body, about how he dug it up, and how it talks to him. Adeline understands, and now she wants details. Like, what was it like when you first touched the flesh? It is very confusing, isn't it? She runs out of the house screaming, and now she's into it, I guess? Adeline is also into all the murder stuff. She is the one who introduced Eddie to the concentration camp photos, and has told him she wants to be a crime scene photographer. Ed is back in the barn where he removes the cloth from Evelyn's body. He then takes off her bra and panties and puts them on himself. He then stares at himself in the mirror, admiring what he sees. Probably has a wank afterwards. We're now in town where Ed goes to the local hardware store. He picks up some lime, which helps slow down the decomposing. He says it's for a cow that died. Ed is short a couple of pennies and the owner, Bernice, says she will cover for him, and then grabs his hand. She then gets very emotional, saying Ed is the only one who is ever nice to her. Ed notices her bust and her bra, and I think he gets a little excited. And she did grab his hand for a long time. He offers to take her out to eat. She accepts. Bernice starts talking about her son, the sheriff, and how he never comes to visit, which is a common complaint amongst most parents. Ed can't stop staring down at her breasts though. The thing is, he's more interested in the green bra that she's wearing than the breasts themselves. Bernice starts getting emotional again and says Ed reminds her of the man she was madly in love with, Bert. Bert and her had a little bit of an affair. Bert even left his wife for her and then moved in with her. His then former wife killed herself because of this. Then the town started gossiping and whatnot. Bert couldn't handle all the talk, so he left town, leaving Bernice to deal with the fallout. She's very emotional, but then she notices Ed staring at her bust. She then kind of perks up and kind of sticks them out so Ed can have a better look. Ed says sorry, but she's clearly into it. Ed gets to the nitty gritty and asks what kind of bra that is. He's never seen anything that lacy before. He then asks if he could wear it. She looks at him with an excited look and says yeah. She takes it off for him and hands it to him under the table. Things are getting spicy. So for the record, none of this actually happened in real life. Ed never had a relationship with Bernice like this. This is all made up for the show. The two continue their night. Now they're at a skating rink. Ed is having a hallucination here. As I've said before, Ed has schizophrenia, so sometimes he doesn't know what is real and what is not. He sees Evelyn, and then he sees Ilsa, the bitch of Buchenwald, who inspired a lot of things Ed has done, specifically with the skins. Ilsa tells him that Bernice would make a wonderful couch. Ed smiles at that. Right now, we don't know exactly what Ed's intentions are. Does he plan on murdering Bernice, or is he just trying to get laid? Ed says that the only thing that can make this night better is some wine, and Bernice knows just where to get some, at her house. Ilsa then winks at Eddie, so maybe he does have a plan brewing. The two get a little frisky at her house, showing off some skin to each other. Ed shows her that he put on her bra, and she's into it. And as I said, Ed has a kink for this and asks her what she thinks. She thinks he looks good. She then says if he pumps her good, she'll let him wear her panties. Ed at this point is rock hard. Like he has found a person who supports this fetish of his. And the two bang. After the bang, Ed comes down in her panties and bra, and Bernice is impressed and thinks he looks great. Bernice wants Ed to move in with her, so it seems to me that Bernice falls in love quite easily. Like everything is happening so fast here. She also doesn't seem like the kind of gal that makes you wait till the third date. Ed returns home to tell his mother that he's moving in with Bernice. His mother disapproves, then gives him a whole sob story about how he's abandoning her and how Bernice will betray him and yada yada yada. The thing is, this is all in his head. He thinks this is what his mother would say. So in some ways, he's agreeing with his mother on some of her takes. Ed starts to leave when she says that Bernice is the town pump. Basically, she's saying she is a whore, and everyone's had a turn. And to be honest, that does sound a bit right. His mother basically goes into a rundown of what happened with Ed and Bernice that night, and that the devil tricked Ed by using Bernice. Bernice already caused a married man to leave his wife. She caused the death of his wife as well. She's a bad egg, a Jezebel. Ed, hearing this, starts to freak out a bit. Ed's mother was a super religious person, and raised Ed to fear God and sins and whatnot. So when Ed hears the devil, he gets scared. And then his mother says he's a venereal disease from her now, since she is the town whore according to Augusta. Ed leaves the room scared and kinda angry. It is the next morning and Ed drives to the hardware store to meet Bernice. He's acting a bit distant from her. She has a surprise for him. She has set up a nice little dinner in the back room with a gift for him. Ed opens the gift, is a bunch of her bras. Ed, who would usually be super thrilled about this, remains cold. Ed tells her that this is the end of their relationship. He then basically tells her what his mother told him the night before, that she is a whore, and now he is unclean because of her. People will look at him differently because he shacked up with her. He then says how God saw the sins he committed with her. She says she lured him in. So he basically says what his mother said, that she is the devil and she tricked him. Ed is taking no responsibility whatsoever for anything that happened. It is all Bernice's fault. She yells at Ed to get out. He tries taking the box of bras with him. She grabs it out of his hands before he can. It's crazy he thought he was just going to get to keep that gift. Before Ed leaves the store though, he wants to take a look at one of the guns on the wall. Ed loads the gun when she isn't looking and shoots her in the back of the head. So this is how it happened, but the details are all wrong. Bernice did own a hardware store and he did ask for a gun off the wall, which he used to shoot her. But they never had a romantic relationship. A lot of people think this murder was planned as well. Ed was there the day before and told her that he was going to buy antifreeze the next day. He also had a bit of a fixation on her, visiting the store a lot before killing her. He said the reason he killed her was because she reminded him of his mother. He puts the gun back on the wall and drags the body out of the store and puts her in the back of his truck. We're now with two hunters who are lost in the woods. It is the beginning of deer season, when they stumble upon Ed's farm. They go into the barn where they discover Ed and what he is doing to Bernice's body. He has strung her up like a dead deer. The two see this and run out. Ed chases them down with a chainsaw. So this never happened. Him stringing up Bernice did, but him chasing two lost hunters with a chainsaw did not. Ed Gein inspired the famous horror character Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So they are just showing a link between that. Ed Gein never used a chainsaw on any of his victims. Ed goes to Adeline and tells her he did something really bad. She tells him to show her. They go back to his house where he shows Bernice's body strung up and gutted. Adeline does not scream. She more or less looks kind of amazed by it. Adeline then takes a picture of it. She does enjoy gruesome pictures. She asks what they should do now, and all Ed does is smile, and it cuts to black, We're now in Texas, so like with Psycho, we will be getting similar scenes with people who made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, since Ed inspired that movie as well. We are back with Ed, and we see the creation he has made. A full bodysuit using women's skins. And once again, he is looking at himself in the mirror and admiring what he sees. So his fetish started with wearing women's underwear, now it's wearing their skin. And this is something he actually had. He had a woman's suit he would wear around the house and the farm. And that is it for the episode. What did you think of it? Leave it down in the comments below. And if you want more monster content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below. And as always, have an awesome day.